Welcome once again to the Visual Vape Reviews. I'm your host, Michael Cobb, and I know everything's been a little wonky lately. I said on Facebook that I'd be going on at 2:30, but I have some stuff to do, so I figured I'd stick to going live right about now. So for those of you who knew, I said I was going on at 2:30, and I figured, what the heck, it's not going to be too much trouble. So why don't I pull up a chair, and we can have a chit-chat. So basically, I've been going through a lot of my videos, and there's a lot going on. There's been topics, there's been reviews. My previous channel, Michael Cobb's Visual Vapor Reviews, going to have to change the name to that eventually, because this is the Visual Vapor Reviews. And there's a lot going on. So, like for example, tomorrow I've got some plans to go to a birthday party. I've got my stuff to go on with trying to get into Sylvania. Basic stuff, not too much. But I've been hanging out, relaxing, trying to get my foot back in the door. Had a really interesting experience today. So normally, wild animals are timid and don't really like going near humans. But there was one a squirrel just curled in a ball by the bottom of our porch. So I'm thinking to myself, if I try and pick this thing up, it's gonna bite me. And so I went and got some Kevlar gloves, or Kevlar lined gloves, from the collision center across the road here, and I went to pick it up, and the thing still bit through. The little guy got me right here in my thumb. Look at this little guy. It's like a vampire. But I've washed it and cleaned it. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and if anything gets too serious, I'm going to go to the doctor or something. But I ain't too worried. I heal pretty quick when it comes to stuff like that. So basically, I'm doing a lot of stuff going on with vaping reviews and important things like that. No, you're not in this video. Go. Yeah. But, sorry, that was Riley trying to cut in my video here. But he's not supposed to be part of these because he's not over the age of 18. So, in any case, there's been a lot of collaboration going on with vaping reviews. I'm trying to get into reviewing for a company called Revolutionary Vapes. I've told you about them before. They're an interesting company. They're aimed towards the veteran smokers, older people who have been smoking for a real long time, trying to get them off those icky sticks. But, of course, it's not that easy. Some people were veteran smokers for, even in the military. They'd get free cigarettes in the military, and that was the way they pretty much grew up with it. And anytime that they smoked, as they got older or developed PTSD, real veterans, if they developed PTSD, they used smoking as an outlet to try and help with their stress, or they turned to other methods of smoking. But Revolutionary Vapes is aimed towards the people who have been smoking for a real long time, who have been using cigarettes for a long time. Juuls are a good method for people who have high nicotine intake levels. For example, using multiple packs of cigarettes a day. So if you smoke 2 packs a day, a Juul could have approximately 15 milligrams of nicotine. And I tried one for the first time yesterday with a friend of mine. His name was Josh. He was quitting smoking. He was the guy who had smoked up to a pack a day, or sometimes 3 in a week, and it just wasn't doing him any good. So he picked up a Juul to try and help him quit. I think it's been working pretty well, so I'm pretty happy for him about that. Then we have my friend Dave. He quit smoking permanently. He just can't breathe anymore. He used to be a heavy smoker, and he'd vape along with smoking, but he came to realize that smoking just wasn't doing him any favors, so he quit smoking permanently cold turkey with his vape and went for there. So it's a pretty hot day out. I've been hanging. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of negative chatter going on about my previous channel. I've seen a lot of comments from people like Liam Smarty or a bunch of other people who just don't like my videos. That was because before the Visual Vapor Reviews kind of took over my channel for everything else, and I was doing K'NEX inventions in my previous channel, I had built this old-fashioned Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Disc. A Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Disc is, anyone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Will know what it is automatically, but for those of you who don't, it's a portable card player that allows you to play the game on your wrist. I actually have a real one right over here. I'm going to grab that. this is basically what a real dual disc looks like. And I'll set this down for a sec. Yeah, I know I'm a little bit off topic, but a dual disc is a full-on automatic card playing field that allows you to play the game. It has your deck holder, your disc card, your extra card, and a full playing field that folds up. And while I understand it's good, but not everyone can afford dual discs. They're kind of old, actually. They've been around since the first series of Yu-Gi-Oh! And they kept evolving. But after the about 4 versions of dual discs, no, 3 versions of dual discs were made, well, technically 4, I don't really know exactly. After they were made, they pretty much stopped there, and the new series didn't really make any toys based on it, just kept coming out with new cards. Which was kind of sad because there were a lot of cool evolutions in the design for the dual disc. There were holographic playing fields, and they could easily incorporate the look of that holographic piece into a solid playing field. But I guess it really didn't take off. And so I built a K'NEX version of the dual disc, which held a lot more cards. It had a disc card in the back half of it, and it had a full playing field. However, I had yet to work out how the cards went into the field. And of course, it just was overall hated because it was, I had said, because it was used for all types of cards. And while that is true, you can't really play every card game on it. And I was just really into Yu-Gi-Oh! Back then, so I made a bunch of videos based on it, I think, and it just wasn't that good. And so I got a lot of hate commenting based on that. But now that Visual Vapor Reviews has really taken over my invention channel rather than inventions in general, Visual Vapor Reviews has become the centerpiece of my channel, and I look to a lot of different reviewers for my entertainment and inspiration. For example, let's see. Well, I could name a few names just to give an idea. Now, my favorite reviewers, anytime something new comes out, the first person I go to is Chris from Indoor Smokers. He's an amazing guy. He does a lot of good reviews. He has a lot of humor, and I find that he has the perfect form of reviewing. Now, people go to all sorts of different reviewers for this, but there are people who make a career out of reviewing like yours truly. Now, Chris, he's a full-time vape reviewer. They send him a bunch of stuff, he reviews it, does a lot of cool videos on it. Then there's Vaping with Twisted 420. He starts out every channel, as you've seen me do a copy of it before. He goes, "What's going on, YouTube? Vaping with Twisted 420 has returned!" And it's just, he's really funny. I like him a lot. And then, of course, we can't forget RIP or Rip Trippers. He's a cool guy, but I think he talks a little bit too. Fireloo and the Voopoo U-Force, I love them all. And they're all for sale right now, so anyone who's that combination of flavors, it's a wonderful combination of flavors if you're wondering what I'm vaping on. It is a combination of whipped honey and Max Slushy from Visual Vapor Reviews. You guys have seen my previous video on the Max Slushy Nick Salt, but the other day my Max Slushy came in, and you've seen a review on that before, so no need to really go into that. But with honey, now that is some good stuff. Now, whipped honey is like almost like a honey stick. It tastes really sweet, but at the same time kind of airy in the middle. So like you're getting a whipped cream. Now that's an amazing tank. If you guys have seen or heard about single screen that it's a dual 1860, and it has the ability to vape 2 flavors at once. It's 2 separate Bill RDA decks, Velocity style, and it has a big, deep juice well in the bottom of each. So what you need to another wick them through. That's basically 4 coils right there, and you just feed the cotton down into the juice well and fill it up, and the cotton soaks it right in, so you don't have to worry about filling it so often. That's an amazing thing. And then what happens is you can push a button and vape it, and it'll vape one side. You can push it again and vape it, and then you'll vape the other flavor, or you can push it again and vape both flavors at the same time. Now that's a little off topic, don't you think? I was just talking about Q-Tank, and I the couples kit. Well, in this case, the Q-Tank takes the abilities of the couples kit and merges it into a tank. It's a dual coil tank or dual atomizer tank, and it's a single tank that's round, that's about 24 millimeters wide, 25 millimeters high, and it uses a single-shaped circular tank that's divided in the middle like an S. And it has two coils on either side, so you can fill it with one flavor, like strawberry, and the other banana. And then you have this rotating gyroscope at the bottom, which moves the connector points, and it's just 3 connector points. So you turn it one way, it can vape both. You turn it the other way, it can vape either or flavor. So it's a really good combo, and I'm looking at it, but it's about $40, so I'm going to have to save some moolah for that, or wait till I get into Sylvania. Right now, in case you guys are wondering, I'm vaping on my iJoy Diamond with Horizon Tech Falcon tank. It's an amazing tank right about now, and I'm loving it every step of the way. But why don't we switch out a couple of tanks and show you guys what we got here. So, let's get into it. Okay. I will grab all the tanks and put them down right here. Okay. So I'm going to stand up a little bit for this because I'm going to switch out my RDA first. So I'll put the iJoy Diamond down, put my Falcon tank down, grab my iJoy, slide on the RDA, grab a little bit of juice for the dripper, turn it up to 80. That hurts a little bit. My thumb's having a little trouble moving because that squirrel bit right down to the bone. It hurt like heck. So we are at 80 watts right here, guys, and we're ready to vape it on. So let's open up the airflow a little bit because I usually have this thing half open. For some reason it was close to a quarter. My drip tip a little while ago to my and enjoy a full-on drip session for it, and then we'll switch out to the next tank, which I think you're going to enjoy because you haven't seen it in a while. So we got my RDA Victory Style ready to go. Got that all dripped up. Let's see what we do. 80 watts, 4.87 volts, and 0.2 this night. So yeah, today's kind of a topic day. I'm just chilling, relaxing. My normal chair, the bucket, which I've never shown you guys, is here today, so I'm sitting in an actual chair. But yeah, today's kind of like a topic day. I got my airflows wide open for this one because I'm not too huge on closed airflow, but I do enjoy it every once in a while. Clouds for days. I love how RDAs are like right over the coils instead of having that airflow chamber. The thing with coil heads and enclosed tanks, even though you're filling them and they're soaking into the cotton, it still has that gap of airflow between the bottom and the actual coil. So it goes in and out when you take an inhale because it comes through the airflow. In this case, it's just going in, hitting the coils, and coming right out. So the vape goes right over that coil, and you just get clouds for days. You are never disappointed with this thing. It's definitely a backup when I don't have, say if I run out of coils or I don't have a coil for something, this is a good backup. So I've always got something to vape on. Because say for some reason my coils are not there and I don't have enough to replace them or use them, then I can go with my RDA and I'll always have fresh wicks. Even if I run out of even if I run out of wicking material, I can still use cotton balls or cotton squares or something like that, or just borrow some cotton from a friend of mine. Because cotton's is way cheaper than actual coil heads. You can get a 3-pack of my Horizon coils for $20. But you can get enough cotton to wick this RDA 30 times over for maybe $15, or in my case, free. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be picking up next for reviews. I'm taking a look at that Clout kit, or C-L-O-U-T Clout kit from the FOBLA. Basically, it is a really tiny cartomizer that folds down. It's like a tank, and it folds down into the actual mod. What's really cool about that is that you can hide your mod, and it'll look like a key fob. You push a button, the tank flips right out, and you just vape on it. It's insane. It's great for CBD oil, too, for those of you who use CBD. All right. So I think that's enough about the RDA. I think it's time to switch to the new favorite. Besides the Falcon tank, my go-to is the Falcon, but of course, we can't forget about the beauty of my Victory X tank. But of course, that's going to require me to, but the only downside to the Victory X tank is sometimes when you're not expecting it, you get a mouthful of juice. That's what she's trying to take of it. Now, this is a low wattage tank. This works well with Nic salts and CBD oil because when you're using Nic salts, you don't want to run them at a higher temperature because sometimes Nic salts burn easily. I don't use Nic salts. That was just for the review. I don't use them myself, but this would be a great tank, the Victory X. Let's get a look-see at it real quick and show you how it's looking. It's got that beautiful X design and that nice drip tip on the top. It doesn't really complement my iJoy as much because it's such a turn down for it, but it does work. That's all that matters. We're reading this at 4.57 volts and 1.02 ohms to get this vape. So, see my live streams and stuff like that. I don't really do them too often. My live streams are just kind of a once in a great while. I do the reviews as an actual video, and then I go back and watch them myself to make sure that they look good and feel good. And then if I don't like them, I end up doing them again. Sometimes I'll actually record and not like how the video turns out and do it all over again. Sometimes I'll just edit out certain parts that I don't like, certain humors, and then I'll fill it in with kind of a loop almost. That's why when you hear me say something twice over, it's not really me repeating it, it's actually me editing it out so that I can, because I've said something or I've done something that I don't really like. So that's the magic of editing, or TV magic in this case. So for those of you who see my channels, I have two channels. I only use the first one, Michael Cobb's Visual Vapor Reviews, as kind of what I watch my videos on. And then this one is the official business channel for Visual Vapor Reviews. Ariana actually helped me set this up so that we could do actual review videos on this channel and save the other one for basic uploads, simple stuff, nothing huge. That's why when I started, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just beginning, and my Michael Cobb's Visual Vapor Reviews has 192 subscribers, and that's because people like Joy Connects building with Connects and stuff like that. But other people who enjoy vaping can come to this channel and see my reviews. So also recommendations to Chris from Indoor Smokers. I want to meet him, talk to him about stuff, see if he can help me get a little bit bigger and kind of grow my reviews. I really love the cloud production from the X Tank. Even though it's only 20 watts, the vapor production and the flavor richness is almost as on par with an RDA. But the only thing that can really beat this would be, I think the only other tank I could use right now is, yeah, okay. I guess I'm going to have to do it. Okay, we're going to switch over to the Freemax Fireloo tank. I've been waiting to use that one for a while, so let's turn this back up to 66.6 watts and go from there. 66.6 watts. There we go. 666. Hell's bells a knocking. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. So we got the Freemax Fireloo tank ready to go on par and loaded up. It's reading the resistance at 0.14 ohms and 4.51 volts to get this vape. So what I love about the Freemax Fireloo tank is the exceptionally wide bore drip tip. This thing is ginormous. It's bigger than a 510. I actually don't know the exact measurements for this tip, but it came with a 510 thread adapter for the other tips, but I don't really use them because this thing puts off so much flavor and cloud for the mesh coils that I'm more than I know what to do with. So let's get a vape on it real quick and show you guys just how big it is in comparison to my Falcon tank, because this was my go-to tank until I got a hold of the Falcon. The clouds are so rich on this. This is the pure slushy before I mixed it. I haven't added anything to it yet. I don't plan on it. I'm just going to use this tank until it's empty. It's kind of my reserve in case I run out of the Max Slushy Honey Whip. So this is an amazing tank. It's my first mesh tank ever, and I love the design of the coils. It's rated to 90 watts. In fact, I'm going to turn it up to 80 watts right now, but I'm not going to use it at 90 just because I'm afraid of this thing when it gets up that high. It puts off so much vapor so quick. A single second hit could literally cloud out this entire room, and you'll see nothing but white for at least an hour. And I ain't playing those games today. There's an 80 watt vape right there. Oh my word. The flavor just came off insane. I think I got a little bit of the whipped honey in there. Oh, this thing is amazing. So I'm going to go back and tank for right now and finish up this video. So back in its box, switch it back to my Falcon tank. Because we all know this thing is better on the Falcon with the Falcon. So we'll put my tank back on there. Get it down to 66.6 or Hales Bells, as I like to call this wattage. Sorry, I went country there for a second. Don't know why. But in any case, we're back at 66.6 or Hales Bells wattage, and let's ring some bells. Oh yeah, that is some amazing vapor production right there. I'm insanely in love with this tank. This tank has been my favorite. Oh, for those of you who are noticing the little black dots on my arm, you probably can't see what it is from here. I'll come a little closer so you guys can all see. So these are the new tattoos I got when I went to Scorpion Tattoo in Londonderry, New Hampshire. We have the elements all right here. Fire, water, air, and earth, and then Pisces. So it's my astrological sign followed by all the elements. Ironically enough, my element is fire. And a funny story about that is that, so when I was getting it, I noticed that the left arm or forearm close to the elbow, the closer you are to your elbow, it hurts more. And what I noticed the most about that was that the other elements didn't hurt really that much except for the earth, which is closest to this side of my arm. But the one that hurt the most was fire. Literally fire when I was getting that tattoo, right? That part of the tattoo, and it just blew me away. It kind of hurt. So I was kind of clenching the lamp thing that was keeping the light on my arm till my knuckles turned white. Now, when I got my Reaper tattoo and my Chaos and Kindness, those didn't hurt a bit. I didn't even really feel them. I was just like, yep, it's cool. I love it. But when I got these, I was like, oh my word, this hurts. But I stayed through it. I didn't cry once. I didn't even freak out. I just was like, it hurts a bit. What are you going to do? Now, Ariana, on the other hand, she took it like a champ. Oh my word. I have never seen someone with such a straight face for her fifth tattoo. She got a Sagittarius and a safety pin. The safety pin is her band tattoo from 5 Seconds of Summer, and the tattoo by her does are the Sagittarius. So she has her mother tattoo, which is the two does saying unbreakable bond, nuzzling each other. Right underneath that is Sagittarius. And then she has the safety pin, and then she also has Chaos and Kindness on her leg, and then on her other arm she has the a skull with a pipe on it. So it's a really cool set of tattoos. I like them a lot. I've got my tattoo, she's got hers, and I'm really proud of them. I like them a lot. They're definitely awesome. I never regret them, because the funny thing is, so a lot of people will be like, who don't really understand tattoos, they'll be like, oh, these are going to be on your body for the rest of your life. Are you going to regret them when you're old and you still have tattoos and they get all wrinkly? I'm going to say, heck no, I put them on my body for a reason. There's nothing to be ashamed about them. Unless it's a drunk tattoo, which I'm not going to do. But still, if you get a drunk tattoo, sometimes you get a tattoo that you regret. And I don't think I would ever do that, because if I want something on my body for the rest of my life, it's going to be there for the rest of my life, and I better be 100% sure about it. Because if I don't like it, or I think I'm not going to like it later on down the road, I'm not going to put it on my body. For example, with the Chaos and Kindness, I have plans for this tattoo. So Chaos is on the top and Kindness is on the bottom. Now, I have kids in the future, not saying anytime soon, just in the future. So if I have a boy and a girl, I want to put, now depending on their personalities, the boy's name on top of Chaos and the girl's name under Kindness, or vice versa, depending on the personalities as they develop and gain their own personalities. But it all depends. Like, that's the plan. I want to have my children's tattooed, names tattooed right here. I'm going to get it as soon as they're old enough so they can understand the significance behind it. And then probably, I don't know what I'm planning on doing later on down the road. That's just an idea that came to me, because I don't really want to put their names like on my wrists or on my legs or anything else. I kind of like the idea of my shoulder, but at the same time, my plan is to have at least a full sleeve somewhere down the road before my 40s or 50s. And it's just an idea. But back to topic on Visual Vapor reviews. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure exactly what I'll be reviewing next. I might do the Cloud Kit, I might do the 90TC, depending on what I get for credits. So it all depends, basically. I'll order some new coils, some new liquids. I definitely will be ordering a new liquid as soon as I get my credits. The plan is, so depending on the amount of credits, it'll be liquid, then coils, or liquid, then new mod, or whatever's new, and new coils for the Falcon tank. Because this is my go-to tank. I don't really care too much about the other coils, but for the things that are for sale. So, in the topic about that. So, sale items. There are 3 tanks for sale right now. The Voopoo U-Force, that is this lovely tank right here. It comes with everything you need to get started except a spare coil. That will be, because I've already used, it's been used. All the tanks here are screen used. They're not new. Anything you are interested in are part of the channel. They have been used. They will have liquid in them. They have been vaped on before. But before you get them, they are always sanitized. So what happens is, last time I sold my mod, I sold the Victory Minion Kit tank and the iQune i200. Now, those were fully different tanks, tank and mod. They didn't come together, they weren't a kit, they were just a setup. So, when I sold it, this is how everyone will get it. I'll describe it to you now. So, it comes with a box, the original box that came in, all the product instructions, verification codes, everything. The mod is pristinely cleaned, polished even. Then everything from to do with the tank comes in its original box, all the seals, all the verification codes, and usually a spare coil, unless I've already ran through one of the coils. As well as the tank being completely cleaned. And when I sell it to you, this is how it works. So the coil is, except for the pre-installed one, the spare coil is kept in its bag, unused, never touched unless I've ran through it already. And the tank is completely taken apart. I take it all apart and I clean it. I soak every part except the coils in rubbing alcohol, and then I sanitize the mouthpiece with hydrogen peroxide, soaking it in it for 3 hours at a time. And then I place it all back together and then fill the tank completely with liquid for you guys when you buy it. So anytime you buy a tank from me, it comes with 1 full tank of liquid. So you'll be ready to vape on it immediately, something to experience it yourselves. That way I can fully assure you the quality and availability of this product. But if you happen to buy it from me and you do not want to try my liquids that come with it, you can automatically record that in the sales notification and bring your own liquid and fill it for yourself. And if you find yourself unhappy with it, you can bring it back within 5 days. You have a 5-day warranty factor, and that is it. Actually, I'm sorry, no. Honey, what are the books again? Oh, 3-day warranty. The 3-day warranty means that any money spent and given to me based on the tanks will be held on to for 3 days. And should you find that you do not like the tanks that I sell you, or you do not like the quality or how I've presented it to you, I can return your money exactly within 3 days. You'll have everything back as long as everything is returned to me. Now, if the tank is damaged in any way, scratched or cracked, I will not accept the return. The return must be in condition as received. So if I sell you a pristine tank like the Freemax Fireloo, and you no longer want the tank, but you do, however, still want your money back, I will not be able to do that. You will have to settle for the tank you get. If you damage it, you have to keep it. So I only accept pristine returns. The returns come, I can return it if you bring it back in the same condition, only based on dissatisfaction. However, my conditions are thus: you will have to prove your age. You will have an age verification. You must have ID on hand, because I've already gotten in trouble one time for giving an underage person a lawn, and he's based on his word, and I'm thankful I didn't get in trouble with the police for that. So that will not happen ever again. All people who buy through me must be of age. I will not accept anyone under the age of 18 for that vaping for selling mods. You can vape all you want, and that's your own problem if you're underage, but I can't sell underage unless you're 18, so period. No ands, ifs, or buts. But there's a lot going on visual vapor reviews. I'm really excited to keep going with it, and there's so much to do. There is reviews, there's topic Tuesdays, there's throwdown Thursdays to go through. There's definitely a good bit to do. I'm kind of swamped here. So if you guys happen to be of age and you wish to go into reviewing for vape stuff, I can't promise you get paid. You don't. From the channel and video from SS Vape to spend on mods, materials, and more. So anything you buy from SS Vape, or you can do reviews on, you get credits to spend there. You can't spend the money anywhere else. So that's what you got. Wow, this thing, my thumb really does hurt. Definitely doesn't tip, but of course it was my own darn fault. But whatever. So in any case, got a lot going on, so I figure I'm going to leave it about here, hang out a little bit longer, take a few more vapes, and then we'll close it off for the day. So tomorrow, I don't know exactly what I'm doing besides the birthday party. I might do a video, but I don't plan on doing a live update for another week or so. So it all depends. For example, if I do a review today, I might do it a week from today, so next Friday maybe. I don't know. It all depends on what's going on. The visual vape reviews, ssvape.com. Go there for all your vaping amenities and claim your vape sticks one vape at a time. You guys are a big help to me. SS Vape has always hooked me up with good things. Everything that you've seen in these videos is sponsored by them, and especially the Victory tanks, like the Victory RDA and the Victory X tank. Those are specifically Victory products, and they come from SS Vape directly. Also, all the liquids seen on this channel, except the Whipped Honey and otherwise stated, are from SS Vape, and they are some of the best flavors you will ever get. They have every flavor you can imagine in varying nicotine strengths for those of you who use nicotine in your vape, as well as 0 milligrams for you hobby vapors out there like me. So be sure to go to SS Vape to pick it up, and then check out my friend DJD Vape Reviews. My boy Danny definitely does some pretty good stuff. He hasn't been able to do it in a while because he's been pretty busy with everything else, but he does try and upload as much as possible when he gets something new. So definitely give him a shot, check him out, and then also go over to Chris from Indoor Smokers for all the professional, because I'm not exactly professional, as you guys all know. I am, what do they say? Informal. There we go. Informal. I'm the laid-back reviewer who just hangs out with you guys, shows you how stuff works, and then gives shout-outs to my people who enjoy it as well. So anyone who's looking for it, just be sure to head on over to the website, and then we'll see about doing a few more reviews as soon as possible. So That's what we get. Thanks, guys. Anyway, we've got a lot of things to talk about. We've had some fun, gone through all the tanks that are here right now, except the Voopoo U-Force. I've kind of sealed that away because I'm not really using it right now. Not really much more to talk about, but I definitely have fun with it. I have fun reviewing for you guys and hoping you guys can see all the new stuff that comes out and make a choice for vaping instead of smoking. There's a lot to be said for vapors, a lot of things that are negatively said and wrongly said. There's a lot of things that can be misinterpreted. For example, popcorn lung. That's a big one. Okay, let's go into pros and cons while I'm here, because a lot of people are misconceived or not very well informed about vaping. So we'll go into detail. First, let's start with the basic design of a cigarette for people who smoke. Everyone who smokes will know this. A cigarette is generally dried tobacco, wrapped in paper, and then a filter placed on the end, and then it's lit, and the combustible material, or smoke in this case, is inhaled into the lungs, and the resulting nicotine rush is what gets people hooked. However, some people don't catch on. They just try it once, they cough, and they never do it again because they don't like the feeling of it or how it makes them feel, or they feel dizzy. But some people, a vast majority in this case, catch on, and it becomes their addiction. It consumes them. They're smoking 2 or 3 packs a day, sometimes 1 or 2. Depends on the nicotine usage and how much you become addicted to it. Vape is a little more complex. Complex in that there's a lot of components. There's a lot to fiddle with in my case, but there's a basic e-cig. So let's talk about how e-cigs evolved throughout the years. The first electronic cigarette was created in 1956, I believe, and it was an electronic battery, lithium-ion back then, and it was a simple disposable battery, and it went into a cartomizer, but the cartomizer didn't use liquid. No, the cartomizer used the coil, or the basic design of the coil, to heat up tobacco, and that was in sense the burning sensation for the electric car lighters and whatnot. The electric car lighters were used to light cigarettes, but in this case they could take the coil and I don't know actually, and then they could be used to burn the tobacco inside of an electronic cigarette. Now, fast forward a few years later. Hi, honey. Hi. Fast forward a few years later to the first vaporizer. The first vaporizer was nothing more than a battery hooked up to a coil with liquid soaked into cotton. The liquid soaked into the cotton, it was nicotine-rich, synthetic nicotine, by the way, and they used it to vaporize the liquid so that people could get a nic rush. And they basically just had tobacco and menthol flavors. The first one to come out for an electronic cigarette vaporizer was tobacco flavor. And then they later came out with the vaporizers that you see today, little pens. So, well, back then. A little bit later they came out with pens that you could refill with your own liquids that you'd buy, and they had the basic tobacco and menthol. Now those had a little more variation to them and a little more complexity. The battery evolved into something rechargeable and reusable, and you could actually use the flavors as they came out more and more. The second flavor, and the third flavor that they came out with was actually a banana split flavor, and that was just to try and open the market up to vapors. And later on they evolved and added more flavorings and varying nicotine strengths, and they thought, what if we could make the flavors more appealing rather than just the standard tobacco and menthol? What they added to... What are you doing, huh? Don't take my mod, I need that. I need that for the explanation coming up. What are you doing? Oh, she's turning it down for her own vape. I have to try a little bit of her own. Don't turn it below 40, babe.
Oh well.
It doesn't work below 40. The tank won't work below 40. The lowest range on that tank is 45, but it can work at 40. There you go, 40 watts. It's a good tank, and I definitely enjoy it. So, back to explanations. That's with honey and slushy. But, so as I was saying, as the flavors evolved, they became more appealing and more flavorful, and people enjoyed them more and more, and vapes evolved. So they had the rechargeable battery with replaceable cartomizers, And that actually hurts, babe. You're digging in my shoulder. But as the replacements got a little bit bigger, they were able to change out the coils from ceramics to actual cotton and made them a lot better and more versatile. Then they evolved to the first box mod, which was nothing more than the battery, the connection point, and rebuildable coils, which made them a little bit easier. Are you making me have hair or longer hair? I don't like it. But in any case, so as they evolved further, they were able to just love you, honey. They were able to evolve further into what you see today: batteries, vape mod, tanks, coils, replaceable drip tips, stuff like that. They had a wide variety and varying nicotine strengths for people who were trying to stop smoking or just use it as a hobby. And it took on a trend of its own that everyone enjoyed. I remember the first time I saw a vape. I was about 15, and I was riding my bicycle to church. I used to ride if you've seen my old channel, I probably told you somewhere in there that I would ride my bicycle to church on about a 22-mile round trip, 11 miles there, 11 miles back. And one day I was on my way back, I was just coming into Hillsboro, and I saw this guy on a bike let out a ginormous cloud like no smoker I'd ever seen. And I looked at him and I was like, what the heck is that thing? And he's like, it's a vape. And I said, it looks like a grenade. It was one of those grenade mods. It looked like an actual grenade, and the firing pin the release pin was the fire switch. And it was just this cool little mod, old as heck. And then as I got older, I grew more fascinated, and I tried my first cigarette when I was 18, as you guys all heard, and I really didn't like it at all. And so I went looking for vape instead of smoking. And the first one I got my hands on was a Mark 10. A Mark 10 e-cig that used vapor. So it vaporized, it used liquid of all kinds, but you had to buy the cartridges for it. So I hacked into it, and I took it apart, and then found out I could actually fill it, because it was like an RDA. I could actually fill it with my own liquid and let the liquid soak into it and then use it as my own flavors. But the first flavor I got my hands on, oh my gosh, I'll never forget the mistake I made here. So there was a vape shop right across the street from my fiance, or now fiance's, Ariana's house, and I went there one day and I said, what kind of flavor do you have? And what kind of flavoring do you have? And he says, well, I got Coca-Cola, and I like Coca-Cola. No complaints there. And I thought to myself, that'll be cool. Okay, what's the best you got? And me not knowing the different strengths of nicotine, or even knowing nicotine in general, he gave me what he thought was the best. He gave me a 36 milligram nicotine level Coca-Cola flavor. Now, the thing is with flavoring, they try and be as accurate as possible. Like chocolate milk flavor, oh my gosh, that tasted like chocolate milk running down my throat. Coca-Cola, now when you take a sip of normal Coca-Cola, if you get the fizz or the kind of spicy sensation of the carbonation, incorporate that as accurately as possible into vape flavor, so it kind of has a spice to it. Now, nicotine on its own has a kind of spicy flavoring to it. And what I got from that was that, well, a spice overdose, and I nearly coughed up a lung. It was just horrible.
Of course, in the bathroom.
Well, in any case, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. And but until next time, I'm your host, Michael Cobb, and these are the Visual Vapor Reviews. Peace, guys.